Hello and welcome to part two of Getting Started with Asana. I am RogeraMTM Michelle of MTM Executives, and I am ready to jump in this section with customization. So, first, some easy, quick things that you can do to make life a bit easier. I mentioned this briefly in part one, but I want to mention it here as well. In the projects section, you have recents and favorites. So be sure to use the favorites as much as possible as you see fit. The reason why is you then can use Asana for brainstorming, for example. You can drop future projects in here and not get started on them for 10 years, 5 years, what have you, as long as you're using your favorites so that they're not getting lost in your brainstorm. You can also do this with color coordination, for example. If you notice, these colors down here also correspond to the colors that you see here. So you can maybe use gray for anything you're not actively working on, or use red for anything you are, or green. So there are lots of options and ways to work with Asana using both this favorites and or these colors, or using them together. So that's the first piece. Now, jumping into projects and tasks as a whole, when you go into any project, you'll notice that you get the same color here. You can see if it's favorited as well. And it shows up differently depending on the task and the view. So let's put a task in here. Let's say this is a recipe that calls for rice. Now, rice is, of course, on our recipe project, but maybe we want to add it to our shopping list project as well so that we remember to buy the rice. For example, you'll notice these are two different colors now, these two projects. And while you don't see the other color here, when you expand the task for more details, you do see the color that it's associated with here. Now, if you're in the board view, you will see any additional board colors on the task. And if you're in the calendar view, I might want to add a date so we can see it in the calendar view. I can do that here or in the expanded view here. But you can see now, I of course still have the pink dot, but it also appears blue because it's on that blue project. So a few different ways to use color coordination and then see it across your views. Now, back to the individual task. When it comes to customizing your tasks and the way that you view them, Asana gives you this lovely customize button here that makes it very easy. So you'll notice the columns I see here now are who the task is assigned to, what the due date is. But once I click customize, I get the option to add the projects column, and I can connect apps, which we won't get into just yet, but we'll come back to. So I can see the other projects listed here if I so choose. Now, an important thing to note here is that you get a lot more options with the paid version. So I'm going to let you spy on my shopping list that I use in real life so you can see that when you're using the paid version, you have tags, dependencies, you can add custom fields such as unit amount, approximate cost, and they give you different types of fields as well. One of my favorite is this dependencies. So with the paid version, I could go in and say, I need rice and I need butter. But let's say the store is out of the rice, and so I no longer need butter. What I can do is set up a dependency so that the rice is dependent, or excuse me, the butter is dependent upon the rice. So you can't start one without the other, or you don't need one without the other, which is very nice and comes in very handy with project management. So getting back to the apps section, Asana also lets you connect a lot of different apps. I'll just go through this list quickly so you can get a feel for what's possible. But once you connect different apps and services, or you sign up for the paid version for custom fields, the possibilities are essentially endless. So that's it. Once again, always in 5 to 6 minutes, and reach out with any questions. Talk to you soon. Bye.